Hello, I'm Charles Barrow. This is my oral presentation assignment. My research is entitled Probation Officer Burnout and Supervision of High-Risk Clients. Overview. The purpose of this study is to evaluate the relationship between supervising high-risk clients and probation officer burnout levels. While controlling plausible confounding variables, this research design and methodology will test whether exposure predicts or influences burnout. As research suggests, probation officers are exposed to a unique level of stress. As such, probation officers experience compassion fatigue, stress, and burnout at increasingly high levels compared to other correctional or law enforcement officers. The research questions are as follows. Research question: what influence does supervising high-risk clients have on probation officer burnout? Hypothesis 1, there is no statistical significant influence between probation officers who supervise a higher proportion of high-risk clients and reported levels of burnout. The alternative hypothesis, there is a statistically significant positive relationship between probation officers who supervise a high proportion of high-risk clients and reported levels of burnout. The research variables identified in this project are as follows. Burnout is the dependent variable. Exposure to high-risk clients is the independent variable. The control variables will be demographic information such as age, sex, education level, tenure, and caseload size. The design rationale is as follows. In studying the research question and testing the associated variables, this research study will employ a quantitative, cross-sectional, correlational design. A cross-sectional study will allow the researcher to observe data from the selected population at a single point in time. A cross-sectional study fits the proposed research questions as it will allow the researcher to measure outcomes and exposures concurrently among participants. Additionally, cross-sectional studies are designed to illuminate the distribution of variables within a population, are cost-effective and easy to produce information on the prevalence of outcomes, and provide results that enable further insights into the phenomenon while informing future research. So according to Slater and Hassan, 2024, and Wang and Chang, 2020. This approach will allow for generalizability, as the aim of this study is to comment on the broader population of probation officers, probation officer caseload makeup, and various agencies across multiple jurisdictions, be it federal, state, and local. The effects of burnout across various professions has been extensively researched. Spinaris et al. 2012 recommends the use of quantitative tools for assessing burnout in correctional occupational contexts. The quantitative cross-sectional design for the study is methodologically aligned with established norms in probation and corrections burnout research. The design was based on existing research demonstrating that burnout is effectively examined using quantitative, correlational survey designs. Established research linking caseload makeup to burnout among community corrections personnel, research directly linking high risk or challenging clients to burnout, and theoretical frameworks. Burnout is effectively studied using quantitative correlational designs as shown by Liley et al. 2025. Liley argues against using qualitative methods when examining burnout, as generalizability of the results will be reduced. To assess the multidimensional measures of emotional exhaustion, depersonalization, and personal accomplishments, Liley et al. Used the Maslach Burnout Inventory Human Services Survey, or MBI-HSS. MBI-HSS is a validated survey that measures the frequency of participants' experience on a 7-point scale. In assessing their data, these authors conducted descriptive statistics and correlational regression analysis. This study supports the use of survey-based quantitative designs to examine burnout and reinforces existing research demonstrating the validity of burnout measurement scales. Similarly, Maslach et al. 2001, Durr et al. 2019, Fusco et al. 2021, and Fatoni 2025 support the premise of this study, which proposes that burnout is a meaningful, continuous, dependent variable that has been explained through correlation and regression models. The existing research link between burnout among community correctional professionals supports the use of a quantitative, cross-sectional, explanatory correlational design. Since 1997, researchers have used quantitative correlational studies to measure burnout as a dependent variable. Consider Simmons et al. 1999 study, The Effects of Job-Related Stress and Satisfaction on Probation Officers' Inclinations to Quit. The findings from their study suggest that emotional exhaustion was linked to exposure to high-risk clients. Similarly, Finney et al. 2013, Finney et al. 2021, Finn and Cook 2003, and Salyers 2015 support the notion that client risk level can be analyzed as a predictor of burnout. The research designed for this study was selected based on available research directly linking high-risk or problematic clients to burnout and stress. Whitehead and Lindquist, 1998, examined burnout among correctional officers. Their study suggested that interacting with dangerous clients was positively correlated with increased levels of burnout. Severson and Pettis Davis, 2013, examined the relationship between secondary trauma among probation officers and the supervision of sex offenders. While their study was not quantitative, it supports research showing a link between burnout and the supervision of high-risk cases. The above-mentioned studies demonstrate that burnout is measurable using validated instruments, that correlational studies designs are accepted and widely implemented method, and that caseload characteristics such as workload and risk level are associated with probation officer burnout. Admittedly so, the point at which I'm at in my research, this research design and this presentation does not cover the anticipated findings, policy implications, variable conceptualization and measurement, data collection methods, and the anticipated theoretical significance. Preferably in the coming weeks and months, I will have advanced in those areas in my dissertation study and research process. Thank you for your time.